And we are on. It has been a day. I'm happy that we are at Thursday afternoon. Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm happy to be here doing things a little different today. I didn't even tell you I was coming on, but I figured I would come on. And for those of you who don't see me now, you can catch the replay. So, again, happy Thursday. We're here. We made it. The weekend is upon us. Let's rejoice. I hope everybody's had a great week. I hope that you have some plans for the weekend. Perhaps, hey, San, perhaps you have some plans of relaxing and getting some quality time in for some resting and restoration and revitalization if you need that as well. So I'm happy that you're here. And like I said, I didn't tell you I was coming, but I'm here and hopefully you can catch the replay. So I know that you, of course, if you're anything like me, you watch the news and there are some things that are going on in the economy and some definite things that have happened as the result of the pandemic. And one of those things that has really kind of risen to the top is a phenomenon, is a situation, is a position that people have taken recently, and they have termed what's happening in the workforce as quiet quitting or quiet quitters. So, what are quiet quitters? They are people who are basically just pacing themselves during the day and not really giving their all while at work. They have really kind of checked out, so to speak. They're not there for the full throttle of all that's going on and for the mission and so forth. They are just quietly quitting right at their seats. And it is a major phenomenon. And it's really been brought on, or it's really kind of risen to the top as a result of the pandemic. Why has it risen to the top as a result of the pandemic? Because the pandemic has really made some people take a look at their lives and determine what's important and determine where it is they want to be, what it is they want to see, what it is they want to do at this point in their lives. So, what is it? Why is it that people are quiet quitting? Why is it that they're going into work day after day and really just not giving their all? All right. So I told you a little about, exactly what quiet quitting is, and it has turned into such a huge problem. Companies are seeing it. They're coming up with plans for dealing with it. They're including it in their prospects, years out. How are they going to handle people who come on board? What is it that these quiet quitters need so that we can get them re-engaged with the company? So what do some of these behaviors look like? Again, employees are doing the bare minimum. They're coming in and they're getting done the bare minimum, what absolutely has to be done. People are clocking out. If they work 9 to 5 or 8 to 4:30 or whatever it is, they are not contemplating spending a minute beyond quitting time. They're clocking out right away, making sure um, making sure that they are not spending any more time than they really have to. What are some of the other behaviors that we're seeing? They're not willing to perform tasks or take on responsibilities that are not included in their job description. So they're not really, willing to go above and beyond. The bare minimum, again, is what we're stressing here. They're going to do what needs to be done. They're going to get in there, they're going to do it, and they're going to get out right at quitting time. When I was growing up, when I lived in South Carolina, and my mother and my grandfather both worked at the Naval Shipyard, and they used to sound this whistle, and you could hear it all across the shipyard. Everybody got off at the same time. So the whistle would sound at 4 o'clock, and people would literally run for the gate, quit whatever they were doing, and run for the gate so that they could get in their cars and go home. Well, imagine that happening amongst lots of people right now who are quiet quitters. They cannot leave work fast enough. I vividly remember that. And every time I read that bullet about people not wanting to spend a minute beyond that, I think about that and remember both my grandfather and my mother running for the gate. All right. What are some of the other things that happen? Chronic disengagement and disinterest, sitting in meetings and being totally somewhere else. You know, the OJs had this song, I believe it was the OJs, your mind is here with me, or your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. They're in the meeting, but their mind is way somewhere else. It's certainly not in the conference room, okay? And that is for certain. They're basically withdrawing from things that are unnecessary, or task activities or events that are unnecessary. You know, the company may feel they're necessary, but the employees don't feel that they're necessary. So, in other words, these all kind of point to symptoms that folks are just checking out. A recent Gallup poll said just 32% of workers say that they are engaged at work. And that is the lowest number since 2014. This pandemic, the loss of lives, the condition of the economy, the condition of politics, so many things have really made people sit back and evaluate where they are right now, and what is really important to them. And many people are not getting, or feeling that they're not getting, what they need in their jobs. So, are you a quiet quitter? Do you feel like, you just kind of check out day in, you're just going through the motions, you're going in for that paycheck because you need that paycheck, but you're feeling like this just isn't doing a whole lot for you other than providing, of course, the paycheck that you have? So, what would you do about that? Is this a position that you want to stay in permanently? Are you okay with just checking out? Yeah, and Sonia says also over on Instagram, this whole thing with COVID has just created some serious mental issues. There's so many things that are going on with people right now that has kind of led to the posture that they've taken at work. And if you are one of those people who's taken this posture, are you okay sitting in that? Do you want to make a change? Do you know how to make a change? All right. So, you know that I'm always talking to my risers. So, I'm looking at this from your perspective. 45 and plus, you've been in the workforce for a little bit. So, yeah, you may be getting a little bored with what you've been doing, or you may be at the point where you're realizing, I've been doing this for a while. I'm really good at it. However, I really feel as though I want to move out and do something else. And mentally, you're just shutting down where you are right now. Or perhaps, circumstances have changed altogether where you're approaching retirement and you're saying, I want to do something different. And you've checked out of where you are right now. Or any number of things could be going on, any number of mental things, any number of physical things going on with your body, any number of things could be going on with relationships with your family, people that you may need to care for now, people that you no longer need to take care of. They're out of the house. All right. So, all of these things have culminated to you feeling like, I'm just going to quietly quit. How can you fix some of these things? What are some solutions to what you can do? All right. Sonia over on Instagram is recommending, meditation and incense, doing things that are going to calm you and help you so that in the evenings you can relax. And that directly points to some things that I'm going to suggest as well that you need to do. You need to take time. Perhaps you're feeling overwhelmed where you are. So you need to take advantage of the time off that they've actually given to you to take. All right. You need to be able to strike that work life balance, which means you may have to do some things differently, particularly if you have a lot of requirements that are already upon you. You may have to do things differently so that you will understand what it is that it means to have downtime and then time at work. And that balance will put you in a better headspace so that you're able to go ahead and feel like you can give your all at work. Sonia also says some alcoholic beverages can help the situation as well. But you need to be able to go ahead and calm things down, be able to strike that perfect work life balance. Take advantage of your leave. Yes, you may have to set up some barriers, may make that 4 o'clock, that 5 o'clock quitting time definitely substantial or definitely hard stop so that you will not feel as though you are giving, and your bandwidth is totally gone. So, one of the things that you can do to correct this quiet quitting is to, yeah, set some boundaries and take the time off that you need so that you're not feeling burnout, which it also leads to quiet quitting. What are some of the other things that you can fix? Well, some of us have such high strung jobs that we feel as though expectations are entirely too high. And because expectations are high, we're always trying to meet them and we're falling short. So we're feeling defeated. And in that defeat, we're deciding we're just going to quietly quit. Why even try if I cannot meet the expectations that perhaps I've set on myself, or perhaps management has set expectations that are too high? They're not really realistic. You have to know when it's enough to say, or when it's enough to say good enough, when it's okay to say, that's good enough. I believe that I have met the requirement. I have gone a little above the requirement, even. I have not totally knocked everything out of the ballpark every day, all the time, 7 days a week, because you're giving so much. You have to learn how to meet those expectations and help management by working with them so that you're both setting expectations so that they know what to expect, so that they are having whatever needs to be done completed, and so that you are not feeling like you're on a constant hamster wheel trying to meet expectations that just cannot be met. What is something else? Setting priorities. Setting priorities. In order to quit this or to stop this cycle of quiet quitting, you may need to set some priorities. Work can be just totally overbearing, and so much to the point where you have so many things to do, you don't know where to start. So it gets to the point, rather than starting something, you just don't start anything at all. And you totally become disengaged. You don't start anything at all. You start feeling bad because you never started anything. You're feeling like you can't focus any longer. You're feeling like you're focused and you just can't wait for the day to be over. And things keep spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. It is not healthy for you mentally. It is not healthy for you physically. And really, the company is not getting all that you have to offer because, again, you're doing the bare minimum. So, those are a few things that you can do to kind of flip that over and change it so that you're actually wanting to give what you have been contracted to do, what you have entered into an agreement to do when you signed on that dotted line to accept the job and to receive the compensation that you get for the work that you do. So you may have to kind of tweak some things and manage expectations, set priorities, set boundaries so that you will be able to be in a good mental space, to be in a good physical space, and to be able to have that balance that you need. Now, say you have come to the conclusion that this is probably the time for me to move on. I've been at this for a while. I'm getting ready to retire. I want to do something else before I actually stop working altogether. I want to do something that's going to pull me a little closer in to my family now. That I have more time with my family. I may want to change and finally pursue that dream that I've had on the back burner forever. If that indeed is what's causing you to quiet quit, then you need to sit down and do an assessment of all of those things. What's it going to take for me to move and to do something else? How does that look for me? All right. Have I planned well enough? I know I'm going to have my 401k coming. Um, is whatever I am thinking of doing, am I going to have the compensation that I need for doing that? You may be feeling frustrated. The frustration very well could be because you we're at that point in our lives, right? We're at our prime and we feel like we need to have something else. We certainly probably have more years behind us probably than we do ahead of us, and we want to make those years ahead of us great years. So we want to be able to do the things that we want to do. And that's what's causing us to just kind of sit on the job now rather than actually moving forward. Hey, Sharon, rather than actually moving forward and giving our employers all that they have contracted us to give. So sit down and take an assessment. What's it going to take for me to move? What is it that I truly want to do? How does that look? How's that going to affect the family? And in the interim, while I am trying to make my decision about, do I need to leave? Do I need to pursue something different? What is it that I'm going to do to ensure that I can break out of this cycle of quiet quitting in the position that I'm currently in, so that I can be happier where I am, and so that the company can be happier with my services? Because if you're quiet quitting, I promise you, they know. They know that they are not getting the ultimate, the maximum of what they can get based on the fact that they're seeing the bare minimum coming through. All right. So quiet quitting is very real. Quitting is quite a phenomenon, and it's a tongue twister too. And if you feel yourself in that spot, there are things that you can do to correct and to kind of turn things around. You have to remember, if you are deciding that, yes, your position is one that you want to stay on, one that you want to keep, you have to remember that it is imperative that you advocate for yourself. Advocate, letting the company know that you are willing to give your best. However, boundaries need to be set, expectations need to be established, and priorities definitely need to be established. You need to work with management to ensure that all of these things are in place. All right, that's it. We went a little over 15, but we got it all in. I thank you guys over on Instagram for listening in, Sharon and Sonia. I appreciate it. Like and share this video. For those of you who are watching it on replay, thank you for doing that as well. And as I close out, as I always do, I want to encourage you to remember that you are enough, just who you are, where you are, the way you're made, because you're designed for a reason and you're designed for something specific. No one else looks or can do what it is that you do. Remember that. Go out and be confidently you. Be bold in all that you do and make that imprint that people are waiting to see. All right? You guys have a great evening and we'll talk soon. Bye.